going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of The Lead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. Today, we are going to be talking about some free agents. We're going to be talking about some free agents for the offensive line for our Houston Texans. To add some context, the Houston Texans exited the NFL draft with only one pick at the offensive line. Now, yes, they did add an undrafted free agent from Kentucky, but the Texans, I thought one of the biggest concerns, well, no, not me, but everybody knew that one of the biggest concerns was offensive line for this group. And to only end the draft with one offensive line pick is quite concerning. Now, do they believe in Nick Caley and Cole Popovich? Well, with that answer, yes. Um, Only getting Ursary, who I believe is going to be a good offensive tackle, but it's going to be a project. It's going to be something developed with him, unless he just comes out right out the gate and is the next big thing. Then hey, start him right away. But the Houston Texans needed help in the interior offensive line. It is something we are going to, I don't know, address, but we are going to give options to the fans, to all of y'all, and see whether or not y'all like any of these options and maybe the Houston Texans. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into three options I got for the Houston Texans to fix their offensive line in terms of the interior. And all of these guys are right guards. So ditto that the Houston Texans need themselves a right guard. So three free agents that are available that maybe the Houston Texans could be looking at. Now, I'll answer whether or not any of these guys are realistic at the end of the video, but make sure, guys, you are subscribed to the channel. We are on the road to 15,000 subscribers again. Super appreciate every single one of y'all, man. We are so close to 13.5K, so we are under 300 subscribers away from 13.5K. Please get me there ASAP. We are trying to hit 15K before the start of training camp. I would be so happy to reach that goal. So remember, it's free 99. Help me help you. I try to drop daily Houston sports content as much as possible, and a boatload of Houston Texans content. Let's get into some free agents. The Houston Texans, again, did not address the interior offensive line, and here are three options from free agency that the Texans could potentially be looking at. One of the first options, in my opinion, that the Texans seems pretty obvious for them to be taking a look at, it's Dalton Risner, the right guard, formerly from the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Dalton Risner did not play the whole season, but that was because he was trying to get back into game shape and whatnot. He didn't play the previous year or something like that. He didn't get signed at all from anybody. He didn't have a preseason. He didn't do nothing. The Minnesota Vikings just decided, hey, we're going to sign him. And they did. So it took him a few games where he was just benched, did not play, did not start. And that's what happened to Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram got benched because they signed Dalton Risner. And when Dalton Risner took over for them, you're looking at a guy that had 537 snaps of offense played and no penalties, no sacks. Pretty damn good. This is really good, actually. Dalton Risner had himself a solid year last year, and he is a free agent that right now. Now, to me, there's a connection between the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings head coach being Kevin O'Connell. The Texans have already grabbed two guys from the Minnesota Vikings offensive line room from last year. Cam Robinson being one of the big names that we signed for left tackle, paid him a lot of money. He was with the Minnesota Vikings this previous year. Then you also traded for Ed Ingram, a guy that is a project guard. Don't really know if there's any upside to him, but hey, you traded for him and you're trying to put a bandage over at the guard position, and you're going to swing and take a chance on this young guard that still has some insight, still has some potential, but we'll see if that turns out to be anything. But for the Houston Texans, if they're looking to win now, and that's exactly why we're making this video, is the Texans are looking to win, and they're looking to win immediately, and they're looking to get to that AFC Championship game. It is a hard grasp mentally for all Texans fans to understand this offensive line room and then think that maybe this team could go deep into the playoffs with this current offensive line the way it's shaped. Dalton Risner could change that tomorrow if they signed him. How realistic it is, again, we'll get into it in a bit later. Another option the Houston Texans could be looking at Will Hernandez. Will Hernandez is the right guard, formerly from not just the New York Giants, but the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the only problem with Will Hernandez, 29 years old, right guard, solid offensive line play this previous year, but the injury bug has been biting him pretty hard the last few years, especially this previous year. It sidelined him for the whole year with the Arizona Cardinals. He only played 280 snaps offensively, 0 sacks, 2 penalties, something that the Houston Texans, obviously, it's a whole lot better than what they had last year and what they're going with this year. I would say Will Hernandez could be a very cheap option for the Texans to go get on a 1-year deal. We all know Nick Caserio loves those 1-year deals. Will Hernandez could be an immediate impact for the interior offensive line. And again, better than what you have. And what you have right now is extremely low bar. All right, third option for the Houston Texans, we got who is it? Brandon Sherf. Brandon Sherf is a veteran guard available, formerly from the Jacksonville Jaguars. They did not bring him back. He is still a free agent, and Brandon Sherf is a big name actually. Now, is he still the same type of guard? The play still seemed fine this year, but maybe there are some rumors and some people, national media heads, that could say that Brandon Scherf is losing a bit of his step. But I mean, 33 years old, and I mean, when you look at his offensive snaps, you're looking at over 1,000 snaps last year, 0 sacks, 2 penalties. That right there is what you want if you're the Houston Texans. And if you want to actually make a run at this thing this year, as the offensive line is currently constructed, again, it is going to be a hard grasp for any fan to believe that this O-line with the coaches you have at hand are going to improve in any way and help you get to that AFC championship game. That's the ultimate goal. Well, that's one of the goals. The ultimate goal is a Super Bowl, but that would be a very great goal to finally achieve as a Houston Texans organization. You've never done it before in your history. Brandon Scherf, veteran, Pro Bowler, been there, done that. You get somebody from your division rival, and you can immediately have him be a legitimate. He is more legit than Risner and Will Hernandez, and he is available. The Houston Texans could get an impactful starter here immediately if they got him tomorrow. But the biggest problem is how realistic are any of these options? I'm going to say it. I think it's 0% chance any of these things happen unless the Houston Texans evaluate their offensive line going into training camp and even some of preseason. And their evaluations are, man, there is not a lot of hope for the interior offensive line. Then maybe the Houston Texans could go get one of these guys. But unless injuries happen, I just don't see any world where the Texans tomorrow are signing a Dalton Risner, or next week they're getting a Will Hernandez, or in a month they're getting Brandon Scherf. I don't see it being possible whatsoever, but to me, the Texans should improve the offensive line, and they should be venturing these options as well. They should have done their due diligence a lot more in this free agency, in this offseason. Just seems like they kind of didn't do that, and they're going to be putting all of their faith and all of the chips are on the table for Nick Caley and Cole Popovich. I'm not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer. I believe that they can do their job, and I believe that, they can turn this offensive line group around. I really do. I hope it can happen. I hope I'm wrong. I love being wrong because when I'm wrong, the team is doing great things, okay? So the Houston Texans, those are a few options right there in free agency they could go after. Let me know down in the comment section whether you like any of these options, if you agree or disagree with any of the takes I displayed below, and is there a free agent that I didn't name that you have in mind? Drop it down in the comment section. I'll reply. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.